7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You move like violence in an empty room. You're rubbing salt on an open wound. But we'll never know what you're going through. You're a dying breed, trying to plant your seed. You got more friends than you'll ever need. But you cut yourself just to feel, just to bleed.
Let me see two fucking vertical thieves in a natural habitat.
Mum, can we come on and try and see Lewis Capaldi?
Did you sign a boy's chest last night?
Aye,
This just looks like it's like landed from space.
Now you're hypnotized by the city lights. You miss the drinking on the summer nights. Got a drink in the rain, but it don't feel the same.
Cheers!
And now there's no love lost when you think it's gone. It's just a psychological phenomenon. You can't just bless your heart until you fall apart. 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 But you must stay. You must stay. Heartache for love. You must stay. Heartache for love. You must stay. Heartache for love. You must take heartache for love, 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 for love.
There's that cup you promised me.
Fuck.
A shite on the wing.
For love, for love, for love.
Third photo away.
Can you open that box and find yourself a surprise?
Dave Leeds!
Silence in an empty room. You're rubbing salt on an open wound. But we'll never know what you're going through.
I thought we were past that, man.
Welcome everyone to a brilliant episode we've got planned for you guys today. Today we will be joined with, like you just saw there, Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves. What a year it's kind of been for everybody in lockdown, but what a year it's kind of been for them, even though like music's kind of been on the down low. J-Mac, you looking forward to speaking to the guys?
Absolutely. This is again, it's a wee kind of trip up a path that we've not been in yet, so it's always
absolutely
something to look forward to.
Right. So I'll kind of paint a little bit of a backstory here. So J-Mac and myself kind of, we met J-Tom Mac, and you guys know the story there. And when Gerard was coming over from LA to Scotland, he was like, is there any bands over there that I can kind of meet? Because J-Tom Mac's been one of these guys that mentors a lot of younger up and coming talents. He's done it all the way through his career. So I was like, yep, there is. There's actually a thriving scene here in West Lothian, some of which he already knew about. So I was like, here's some of the guys that are on their way, but I think could do with meeting you, because it would be good for everybody involved. And I sent him a list of all the musical talent, and a lot of people out there on the West Lothian music scene don't actually know their name was on that list. But if you message me and ask me, I'll tell you. But straight away, did I not send you a text and I says he will 100% pick these guys? And it was Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves.
Yeah, and honestly, you can see why. I mean, listening to the guy's music, Mark's voice in particular is really kind of it's got that nice kind of raspiness to it. And I've always liked that kind of voice, kind of Rod Stewart. A guy I mentioned before was Ryan Bingham. I think he sounds a fair bit like him as well. But it's his own voice, and it's an authentic tone. And you can actually make out what he says. I'm sick of mumble singing. That's all you hear these days. So it's nice to actually get somebody that can speak, let alone sing.
Yeah. And when you take the rest of the band into account, they've got that very stadium / radio ready kind of sound as well, where each individual instrument you can appreciate, but together they just make this monster of an ensemble. But so I had sent this to J-Tom Mac, and he chose Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves to meet. We kind of got together in a studio in Glasgow, and the rest, they say, is history. They recently just made it to #1 in the iTunes rock chart with the release of Sink or Swim. So we're going to chat about that today, and we're going to chat about all the stuff we've done that went into making the music video. So we're going to what we'll do is bring in Mark first. But just before I do that, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a clip here to kind of see what the band are like live, Mark especially. Ladies and gents, Mark Sharp.
Hello.
Ahoy, hi.
How we doing? I've not seen that for a long time, that page, man.
Mate, that was incredible. When I sent a lot of your stuff to Paul McCall, the guy from the Lemmy Show, mega talented actor, and that was the one that he commented on. He was like, that band are amazing, but see that Born Slippy, man? And he was just like...
So, he's a legend. Mate, honestly, I've not watched that in a while, but I'm going to have to watch that again. That was good to see that a long time
I
ago,
absolutely
man.
love I love how you kind of... it's like with lots of different bands, you kind of get that feeling where you guys and the audience are one, and that kind of just demonstrates that there on video. So we're going to go kind of back to the start before we move over to Sink or Swim, right? So for people that are tuning in for the first time that might not be aware of you guys, right? Obviously, these are the guys that live under a rock. So if I'm right in thinking, you guys started because you were initially a solo artist, and like many artists, you probably jumped in and out of bands, but the whole commitment thing was an issue. So I'm going straight now. So how did it kind of happen from you doing your own thing? Because I used to always, in Bathgate especially, I'd always see on the pubs there would be the wee chalk boards outside, and it would say Mark Sharp. So I was always aware of that. So if you kind of walk us through how you became from Mark Sharp to Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves.
Aye, well, like as you say, I was just playing pub gigs, mate. Like just playing round about Bathgate, West Lothian and stuff like that, just playing covers and now and then one of my main songs, but never ever felt I had the confidence to kind of play my own tunes. As you say, sorry, it's in bands and stuff before, but I was kind of writing, and I've always wrote. That's something that it's just I feel like it's still in me. So I've always wrote tunes, and I went to Australia, and I was like, I had a tune. It was Fools at the time. I went to Australia, and I thought, I think I'm just going to move to Australia, to be honest. My mates were all there and stuff like that. And I was going to go, but I'd booked in with James. When I came back, I was like, got to go to Australia. Come back, I'll record this tune. But when I was earlier, I was like, I'm just going to stay here. But I thought, fuck it, I'll go back. We went back and recorded Fools, and it went doing so well, man. It was the response was so good. I was like, okay, let's try and do something with this. Booked a gig in Glasgow. It sold out in a day. So like, okay, I only try and put a show on. I felt like it couldn't just have been me, so I was like, I'm together to play this, like these tunes. And we played the gig, and as you say, we turned into a band. After that, really, it was intentionally meant to be a solo, but that's just turned into a band for there.
It's insane. The kind of chance meeting. Were you going to say something there, John?
No, I was just going to basically ask where that chance meeting happened and how. Like the name, the Bicycle Thieves, was that theirs? Like, were they already a kind of unit themselves, or was that all put together?
The band that's in it, it's a different band for that very first gig. Apart from Connor, he's been there for day one, but then it just kind of became like, okay, we need these people, and Connor was like, I know these people, and everybody's just came in. It's became what it is now, and we kind of stuck with this kind of setup for a while. So we thought it needs to be like a band rather than just like a solo act name. So I think I was in a record store one day, and I seen there was a DVD. It just jumped out at me. It's called The Bicycle Thieves, which is an Italian film for 1940 or something like that.
Right.
I've actually got it.
Class.
I've got the DVD, but it's not hand reach. And I just said a cool fucking right, yeah, man. The Bicycle Thieves. So we marched out the Bicycle Thieves, and people see me like a name. Everybody always asks about it and stuff. I think there's already been bands called the Bicycle Thief or something like that. Who cares, mate?
You know, it's a good way to, like, when you're flying the flag for Scotland and you guys are touring the world, to be like, you know, the Bicycle Thieves. Where do you find the name? Well, have you ever lived in Scotland? Like, who didn't have their bike stolen, right? At one point or another.
Exactly.
Went and got it back, but I think it was stolen to begin with.
I never happened to me. I never had a bike stolen because I was always sensible. I always wore a helmet. I always had a chain.
Left the bike.
I always say a joke about that when somebody asks us where the name come from, and I'm like, have you seen the folk in the band?
I like to think of that, like they all just happen to get arrested on the same night in the same town and just sitting chatting in the cell. What do you do? I play drums. So like, why don't we have a band? What are you in for? Stealing bikes? Me too.
That'd be good. Speaking of the band, so we're gonna bring them in here one by one. So we have Darren, who is Big Tuna in Sink or Swim, ladies and gentlemen. Darren.
Woo.
We also have Michael, Davy Seamanstein. I wonder how you got that name.
I know. Hopefully I'm going to get to clear my name later on.
We have there's Cammy looking a bit like Dave Grohl, and we have Connor, the mastermind behind the idea that is Sink or Swim. Before we kind of get to the music video, this is kind of about a collective question. You guys were on the trajectory, right? I seen your tour literally sell out so quick before lockdown. You finished the tour, and then lockdown kind of hits, right? And this is where music was overlooked. For you guys, what were what did that stunt for you guys? Like aside for getting paid and gigging live, like did you have big plans on the go? And this kind of just put a back seat, yeah.
I had a tour of Scotland planned. We had.
I think as a band we were actually just starting to find our feet a wee bit. I think our like live shows had started getting like we'd up the game, like we click track.
That had been really good.
We started being really
not that they weren't good before, but like it was like really good.
Kind of up the standard a wee bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of shite to have to go back to.
Yeah, it was meant to be a year of singles as well. That's
like the immediate effect as well that we had the Mash House, which had sold out in Edinburgh, and that's now been pushed to October. So I think it's near enough 18 months that's been postponed for. So
wow,
that was like the immediate obviously impact, and then not getting to practice together. But Darren was then able to put together the lockdown covers and stuff like that, which kept us ticking over.
Yeah, they were great.
I could piece of work.
I loved the one you've done of the Kinks track, Waterloo Sunset. Man, that's a banging tune.
I think my neighbour must have thought I was a fucking weirdo sitting in the car outside to like click track, so it was just going.
I can't believe it until we started playing the Kinks. The neighbours think you were a weirdo.
It wasn't like the full song yet. It was just a fucking click track. That was. Sorry, I'm swearing here.
Go for it. No, it's fine, man.
Thank fuck. Just like this, because click tracks are really loud.
Mm-hmm.
Be fucking like
clicking away.
I mean, having this kind of video conference technology is obviously great as well. Everybody can kind of stay in touch that way. I mean, without that, I'd imagine it'd be a lot more difficult to even keep the creative juices flowing between you as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys.
I'm following it with video calls. So, last year I had a job interview, and then you think, oh, you can only see for the waist up. Wearing my wee nighttime shorts that I wear at my bed. So middle interview, the woman was like, "Oh, can you go and get headphones so we can hear a bit better?" I'm like, "I need headphones." And my wee fucking checkered shorts.
Spoiler alert, we didn't get the job.
Guy's always looking for an excuse to get his ass out, right?
That's actually what happened in the interview as well.
So you got the job then, right? God. You guys, upon looking at it myself, and a few other kind of local bands, you guys, I think, didn't actually do that bad during lockdown. I think you stayed on top of it, and you kind of let that passion push you forward, which is, again, we filmed the Sink or Swim music video in lockdown, socially distanced for all the PC mob. It was, as you can see there, it was it was super social.
Get used to that, by the way. This could be like a 2-hour podcast, right? And at least 15 minutes will just be that.
Oh, by the way, that was just the short version. Like the clip goes on for longer. I'm just teasing it. That's what you do. You leave them wanting more, like you did with the job interview. I think they didn't hire you not because they didn't want you. It's because they knew they were not worthy of you. They were like, no.
Thank you.
I like how it's the same colour for waist to heel. There's no tan anyway.
Be careful what you say when it comes
you never got to IB for that year. So.
But you guys did end up on the sea though, which was, if I'm correct, it was actually Connor's idea, the initial idea for Sink or Swim. Connor, do you maybe want to give us a bit of a rundown as to what you were thinking or smoking when that came into your mind?
I don't want to disclose that, but I don't know. I can't really remember how it came about. I'm pretty sure I always had an idea floating about, and it was like canal boat, like pirates. And I thought like we just cut about in a canal boat, terrorizing like old people and picnics and like stealing dogs and stuff. But I don't know, that never really went down. And then I think Sharpie was thinking something to do with like in a sink, so we were because of the name Sink or Swim. So we thought like get a wee boat in a sink and we'll be living in Like we'll be like tiny little characters. And then I think what was it? It was like a film. What's the guy called? Ray Harryhausen.
That's
He's
the
like
guy.
the stop motion guy.
Yep.
So I sent like a video of that to Scott, and it was like I can't remember what the film's called, but it's basically just about a massive squid. And it was like in the 50s, so the squid was like it looked like shit. But obviously back then it was class. So
Oh, of course.
it looks shit now, but it'll still be class, I think, if we get that.
It was basically Connor's idea on a budget. Because whatever he was trying to think of was fucking far expensive for us to do. But I love his mind, though. I just love his mind.
I mean, by the way, see for having no budget. I mean, what we put. I think we started at like 8 in the morning and got home at like 3 the next again morning, right? But for no budget, that was an absolute masterpiece, right? It's something you could take from somebody's mind straight onto the screen, and it does. It has that kind of that old feel. When Scott initially said to me, he was like, "Mate, I have this idea with Connor to do a music video. Here's what the plan is." It was like, so we're going to have a squid attack them on a boat. I'm like, all right. I was like, so where are we getting the boat? He goes, I've got a little model boat. And I'm like, a model boat?
We're not going to fit in that.
I was like, how's this going to work? He's like, oh, so we're going to shrink it. And then we kind of went through it. And as soon as he went down, I was like, this is going to be amazing. I was like, cancel my plans on that day. Let's go there, man. And he kind of just had this like concept and kind of showed me the storyboard. And this who we're referring to is Scott Kempick. Scott Kempick, who is like, he's just, to say that he's one of the most talented people that I know would be no credit to him at all. The guy works so hard on everything he does. And I'm actually going to put his website in the comments section for everybody who owns a business or just needs some graphics done. If you're a YouTuber or a gamer and you want to have something created, you definitely need to hit up Scott. So there that is. But we will get to the whole. We'll get to the credits of all the guys involved very soon. But we're going to kind of talk a bit about that day. So we got the idea there. You guys had the idea for Sink or Swim. We got the crew together, and it was all ready to go. But before we talk about the filming and the music video, you guys got Sink or Swim to #1 in the iTunes Rock chart. Like I know how I felt just waking up that morning and seeing it. I was like, fuck it. I felt like it was a victory even for me because I'm just so happy for you guys. What did you guys feel like?
Well, we never got to #1. The fans did.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Nice one. Nice one.
Man. That's me because we never kind of pushed for anything like that. Just put the tune in and just see what happens with it, and it was a big surprise to be like.
I think
like the rest of the boys think.
I think there was a hunger. There was definitely a hunger from your fans for like new music because lockdown had come down. You guys had done covers, but there was nothing new yet. And the stuff that you've done, like Tippy Toes, and you got Amorous and all that, that was sitting like your top played stuff on Spotify. That really was like you've set the bar for yourselves there, and to kind of top that, it's like, well, people are anticipating hearing what you guys had to come next. And because I'd heard it right, and no one else had, I was just like. just wait, because I didn't actually hear the track till we were there on that day, hearing it through the speaker, and I was like, "Fucking, this is brilliant!" Yeah, absolutely. So I thought it was class. So
the lucky Gale blaster.
Aye. So, did any of you kind of have a wee moment to yourself, like, "Wow, we've made it to the top of an iTunes chart"? Or
it was really surreal. I think just the whole experience, because all day, obviously, came out like early doors on the Friday, and it just slowly kept like creeping up. So I think the first I'd seen was at maybe like #20, and then it was kind of it's like top 10 now. We're #2, and then it's quite a weird wee chart like the iTunes Rock one because we were up there with like Fleetwood Mac and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. But it was just so exactly. But actually, like Royal Blood like releasing their single, so actually taking them off the top for a wee bit was mental.
Finally not chasing cars off the #1 spot.
Wow, see that's a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt. Just in text. Finally not chasing cars off a #1 spot. I mean, how many bands can say that, right? And guys, yous are just at the very start of where you guys are going to go, and those are the kind of things that able to do at this point. It's quite surreal. I know you guys had a lot of people congratulating you. I know that Robert Carlyle, Big Begbie, had tweeted out your track. G Tom Mac himself had posted out a wee picture of you guys. He's over in LA, like just completely bigging you guys up. The guy has so much love for you guys and the music that you guys have done. So keep your eyes open for what happens next with Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves when the world starts to open up, which it has started to open up. And you guys are obviously going to get back out playing when lockdown is over. I mean,
what's your first planned gig at the minute, Mark?
I think we're playing Inverness, a festival. I don't know if it's been announced yet, but we're playing Inverness next month. So, social distance festival. I'm just going to be back and play. To be honest, can't wait to get back on the stage in front of people. I genuinely don't know how many people that's going to be there or whatever, and who else is playing at the festival. But I'm looking forward to it.
Ideal.
Mm-hmm.
The socially distanced festival thing, it's two things that just shouldn't go together. So it's socially distanced festival. I don't know. I can't picture what it's going to be like. I'd heard something a while ago about somewhere that was doing podiums, like everybody that booked tickets together had got their own podium to stand on, and you couldn't move off it and stuff. Weird,
with the
but
Snuts and the Libertines. I think that was, when was that?
I mean, it's better than none, though. Do you know what I mean? It's better than none.
Absolutely.
It's quite weird because you can yourself what festivals are like, just about fucking grabbing your mates and fucking enjoying the tunes. But it's better than that, so I'm looking forward to it. The only kind of good is that Howden Park by thing in front of a camera crew. So to be in front of people to play, I'm buzzing for it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be something. I think we're going to start seeing it, and people are going to. If you thought they were rowdy, like we've seen there in that clip with Born Slippy, if you thought the crowd were rowdy for the guys they go to see, then wait till it's just that first gig when everybody's back together in one place and they're all just shouting, "Here we fucking go!"
It's the most Scottish thing to shout in public anywhere. but that's
I'll never get old.
I know. Yep. I mean, places like King Tut's, and I've been there 2 or 3 times, but it is a very small place, so I can't imagine they'd be able to make much money if they try and open with social distance. So good luck to places like that, because these small venues are brilliant for live music, and I think when you take away the capacity, it's just, I think it's putting them in an awkward position. But we'll see what places like that can come up with.
It's like you're saying, because some of like the bands, like some like your genre, like kind of indie rock and that kind of stuff, like the crowd plays such a big part. Because like Mark's saying, I love seeing people getting up on other folks' shoulders. It's like, well, we're doing something right.
But like
you're saying with it, can't do that with social distancing, but letting them just blow off steam and that, it's definitely going to come back with a vengeance. Like it's going to be chaos.
Absolutely. I think when lockdown's over, you guys are going to be, and I won't say the last, but the last of this batch of like insanely talented musicians that head up the way. I think the kind of rest of the scene still are, they're on their way, but they've still got the rounds to make. I think you guys, like I say, anytime I'm listening to you guys in the car or whatever, you guys are so radio ready, and you're just like, if I was someone that needed a band as a support act for a stadium show, I would have no worries about putting you guys on, because you're just there, you know what I mean? And I think, like the Foo Fighters, they're a band you could play in King Tut's, but they're also a band that you can hear and imagine in a stadium. I think you guys have that, which, by the way, you can't say that about a lot of bands. How many bands or artists can you say, right, they're stadium, you know? I mean, Spice Girls are stadium, right? They actually are.
Fucking right, yeah.
They are, man, mate. I done security for the Spice Girls, right? I went there like this. I don't want to do security for the Spice Girls. Don't know what to do it, but fine, it's a job. Don't know what to do it. I went there, I was like, if you want to be my lover. I was like, I didn't expect this to be so class. I was like, this is
exactly. That's what's special about live music is that it can, even if you're not expecting to enjoy it, you end up.
Girls, mate.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It was amazing. It was amazing. So I think the next, I say maybe 2022 is going to be the year of Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves. And I would say to anybody at home to make sure that you guys, the next, and we know what the next track is you guys release, straight up, just buy that track on iTunes, buy it on Apple Music, because it costs like what, 70 pence, 75 pence thereabout, right? Which to us is something you could literally lose and go, did I even have it, right? If enough people do that, right, as opposed to just streaming the song, and I don't think a lot of people know that, right? If enough people do that, you guys chart. And if you guys chart, right, that opens so many more doors. All for what? For one individual person buying one track that costs less than £1. Like,
Can I get myself a boat?
right. It
It
literally is such an easy thing to do. All right. So if you love the band, you support the band, absolutely do it, because you guys got to iTunes rock chart #1. But I'm going to predict that the next track that comes out goes to #1 in the iTunes main chart, and then so forth. It can only get better each time it goes on, and you guys keep getting better. So why wouldn't it, right?
Thanks for putting that pressure on us.
Well, you've got it now. Like,
why do you think I'm doing a podcast?
Catch you later on.
Before we kind of talk about the music video, so we do want to give a wee shout out to Scott Kempick. Here he is, so happy to see that that you guys, look at there it is, Chasing Cars #2. Get it right, ruin you.
Yes, it was time, you know. It was a bit time.
exactly. Look, the track
#1.
and see if you look at that as well, right? They've even reduced their track to 59p to try and get one up on you. Look, look at that.
That's petty, man.
That's petty. Yes, still lost. Scott Kempick, absolute mastermind, and the guy that pretty much, like, once we had finished filming,
it should be on tonight. It should be on.
Well, he said he's going to let me know if he can jump on, and I've got nothing from him yet. But hey, he might just swing by. He's got the link. He's it's pretty much ready for him to just jump on once he's done doing what he's doing. Yeah.
He's too humble.
Exactly. But so he's the mastermind.
I know he does.
He carried this project pretty much after we turned the cameras off and made it pretty much as beautiful as it looks. His brother, Ross Kempick, really talented. Is he a carpenter, a joiner? But he guy that builds stuff.
Joiner. Carpenter. Can say carpenter?
Carpenter. Well, we'll give him it. Carpenter.
Carpenter sounds a lot better.
Joseph.
So he basically painted the wall green. He built the set, the wooden set that you can see Connor jump over at the end with his arse hanging out. And he was also a wee he brought us rolls on sausage, so he made sure we were well fed. He just kind of would pop into time. We'd be like that, scant and cammy.
Can I just say, apologies, I can't remember Scott's mum's name, but our soup was class.
Oh, the soup.
Cheesecake as well. Was there not cake?
There was cake, aye.
Some nourishment there, that was fucking class.
Shout out to the Kempick family.
Mate, exactly. I've got it written there. Aye.
I'm getting more and more gutted that I missed this day.
Mate, I wish you were there.
Aye. The next one. The Kempicks, we'd be in the middle of filming something like that. And Scott would, sorry, Ross would pop in and be like, he's needing a drink.
I think swearing's the least of our worries on this podcast, by the way. I think that what we are now is demonetized as fuck. And also, always say carpenter.
I thought we were going to.
We have a question here.
Out the bum crack.
Yeah, that was Scott. That is all on Scott. So we have our top fan here, Heather Dow. She's at home nursing a broken leg. Yeah, she'll be fine.
I heard the story.
So she's at home right now, and she said,
Kevin's quite conveniently skipping over this story.
Can you tell the story? No,
in fact, okay, right. So, Heather, this one's for you, right? Total taking over the show here, Heather. But hey, that's what happens when you're a top fan, when you join our community. Tiding. So Heather came over to my house because she's good friends with my wife and myself. She's a bro, right? This is also J Mac's twin sister, right? And she came over to my house. They were chatting away, and kind of said I was doing security for Spice Girls. So I did security, and they teach you how to do these holds and whatnot, right? So she was talking about a story, right, from the past, and she was like, this guy came at somebody with a knife, and the cops took him down so quick. To which I was like, yeah, you get taught that even in security, Heather, right? I was like, so you basically just do a couple bits and bobs, and she was like, oh, you need to show me. I was like, oh, listen, don't want to hurt you, right? She's like, no, please show me. I'm like, it's like, no, what if you get hurt? I don't know if, I don't know, you have to do it all quick and that. And she was like, no, please just show me. I was like, fine, right? So she jumped off my couch and came up to me and she goes, what would you do? Initially, I put this pressure hold on her arm, right? Which usually has the biggest of men scream, right? And kissing the floor. And all I'm doing is a little hold, right? Now, Kev. Now, what happened here was this had no effect on her whatsoever, which I was like, no, right? And then she was like, well, what would you do at this point? Because there's no working. I'm like, bastard. So all I done, and I'm telling you, slow as hell, I put my arm round her, put my leg behind her leg in the typical trip up fashion, right? Slow as hell, like I was putting somebody drunk to bed. Now, she was drunk, but I wasn't putting her to bed, right? And all I done was kind of slowly take her to the ground, and all I heard was... I was like, what was that? And she's like, oh, I think you've broke my leg. I'm like, oh, come off it, man. And I'm like, nobody can break anybody's leg doing that. She's like, look, right? So, you know, your legs are like this, and they should only really go like that. Well, hers like goes like this now to the side. She's like, look, it shouldn't go to the side like that. I'm like, does yours not spin round clockwise? Mine spins round clockwise. She's like, no. And I'm like, nah, I couldn't have broke it. She gets up to the couch, man, right? And she's got her two legs, and she's like, look, that's swollen. I'm like, it's not swollen. Like, one was like this size, and one was like this size. Oh, no. But I tried to kind of like calm her down by being like, yeah, listen, it's no swollen, and you've probably just staved it, right? She goes, Karen, you can't stave a knee. So, yeah. So, like, 8 to 10, like, what's the percentage that is her fault for having dodgy knees and, like, no mine? 1.
Did you be were you drinking as well?
All your fault.
No. Well, I had like a beer, but I wasn't drunk or anything. I was in here, and the best it was, she was like, "Please come out and help me with this." I'm like, "No, I need to be in my cupboard. I've got stuff today." "Oh, please." I was like, "Fine." Came through. I'm like, "See, that's what happens when you take me in my cupboard. Folks' legs get broke."
Like, so, between Cammy's arse, being monetized, I don't know, you're going to get cancelled. That's a bad story.
I mean, the way I look at it, we're going to get cancelled eventually anyway, so I might as well just go out swinging, right? Well, no pun intended. So yeah, there was a nice wee segue. So she actually had a question there. Look, that's what happens when you join our community. You get the full-on story.
Is that her knee?
That's exactly what her knee sounded like. I'm not even joking. So she says, who inspired you all to do music? The music you do. Are there any iconic artists out there you look for inspiration? Sonic, Class. No idea what Sonic or Class is. Oh no, those are pictures. Right, so yeah. So maybe if I'll just ask you individually, I'll start with you, Mark. Who would you say are your biggest influences musically?
Singing wise, Otis Redding's my all-time favourite. And just with performance as well. I just love him to bits, man, and it's just a shame that he had such a short career. But Aye, Beatles, Arctic Monkeys, Rolling Stones, Faces.
It's a big mix.
I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on. Aye, definitely. Like everything.
Oh, nice.
Salty to pinpoint it.
Aye, absolutely. So we'll go with Connor and then Cammy.
I'd probably say Bombay Bicycle Club are a massive influence for me. And friendly Fires.
I was going to say. I was actually going to say.
You stole his.
It's
spiritualized as well.
It's actually because before this was on, I was testing the speakers and just happened to put Friendly Fires on and we're chatting about it. Because it was actually, he took me to the first gig when I was 16, and that was kind of, you see that for the first time.
Oh,
I was also 16.
You were also 16, yeah.
I made it sound like he was your dad there.
I think this is going to be in every future podcast we do. I don't even think it's going to stuck to this one.
And so I suppose, I mean, would you say that was the exact same for you, Cammy, as Connor, or do you have any other?
Well, I didn't want to be a cliche and say the Beatles and Oasis and all that, but it's true because they're like gateway bands, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
Like, listen to them, it's like, oh, that's amazing. Like, and then from there, you learn everything you know now.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, a never-ending
spot
journey for music. He's also a big Who guy. He forgot to mention.
I forgot to say the Who actually.
Yeah.
The Who, yeah, the Who are unbelievable. Who doesn't like the Who?
Jack Bruce, he's the band,
Yeah.
the bass man.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And yourself, Michael?
I would say probably between New Order and Interpol. My first gig was New Order at it was the Carlin Academy, so to Academy now, when I was 13 with my mum. But Stephen Morris, obviously drumming before for Joy Division, but he's just like a human drum machine. It's like, he doesn't really do anything fancy, but he's just technically really good. I know a lot of drummers are into proper like kind of jazz drummers and stuff like that, and they are good, but I just think how impressive he is. He's just really cool as well.
Also seems like the nicest guy in the world.
Aye, exactly. Because I think his wife as well was in the band, didn't he? Like the keys.
What's the?
That's spelled like me and Darren.
Amoeba things.
What's that? Like what's in my bag?
Yeah, like there's one, and it was Stephen Morris and Gillian Morris, and they're actually just like the cutest wee couple.
Aye.
It's amazing.
Just lovely. But I think that like about all kind of like you're saying New Order and even probably all like Manchester bands. It's probably why there's as much in common with like Glasgow, Manchester, because they are just like salt of the earth, sort of normal
working
people.
men. Yeah, absolutely. And Darren.
I'd say
that's you.
Arcade Fire is definitely like my like main inspiration. I think also probably like Metronomy with I think like everything that Joe Mount does, like he's just a complete genius. And then from a performance side of things, I think the guy like Oscar and Metronomy is the coolest / like most like bizarre keys player live. Got some pretty nifty actions and stuff, so I don't think I'd do a good job of emulating that, but definitely I should probably try to be more like him because he's got funny moves. So if anybody hasn't seen Metronomy live, look at Metronomy live.
I'm actually a huge fan of John Lord as a keys player. Did you ever take any inspiration from John Lord?
I can't say I know who that is.
Oh no, Deep Purple, Rainbow, or like proper 70s metal. Well, not metal. It's not considered metal now, but no.
Yeah, so apologies.
No.
I can't see you down a metal fan, mate.
No. Do you know what I have?
Fucking amazing.
What I have observed of Darren is he's probably the quietest, most laid back guy in the band. Not laid back as in like chilled. Like he's very on it. Very much a guy that'd be happy kind of sitting in the wings, but without him in your band, you would notice a big difference. For sure.
We wouldn't have a fucking keys player, a saxophonist, and trumpet player, and a fucking drummer. He's everything.
He's played bass before as well. He's filled in for me.
He's everything, man.
He's the Dave Grohl, eh? Look, Cammy's like that. No, he's no.
He's everything.
I think it's broken. Keeps happening. So we'll kind of chat a bit now about.
Like, it never gets any easier.
I think this is going to put him in therapy.
Sorry, that's what one session on this podcast will do. So yeah, we'll kind of chat a little bit about that day of the filming and kind of what went down. So I kind of showed up that day with Seb. We kind of loaded everything into what was I'm right in saying Craig Kempick, which is Scott's dad. He had loaned his workspace to us. So shout out to Craig Kempick. And it was all green screen. We just pretty much set everything up. And then at the side of his house, he has like a semi house, right? A wee house that's at the side of the house that they kind of built. And we went up, and that's you guys were kind of there. So, yeah. And we kind of went in there. You guys were already kind of waiting there at that point, and we kind of just went through. And this is when Scott really took on the director role and just kind of set the pace for the day. We kind of went over a storyboard of what we're kind of looking for, which is strange, by the way, because this, like, I think filming the next music video will be so much easier because in this we're literally working with our imaginations. Like everything that we're kind of looking at is just green. So we're like, right at this point. Exactly. And I'm going to play this clip again, right now. Do not pay attention. Don't pay attention to his arse. But if you look, right, we have is it Camlin, other Cammy, McLean. Yes, and I'm sure it's one. Yeah, one of you guys. I think it maybe Michael.
Is that
right? Yeah. So they actually have green suits on, which were going to be the tentacles. Now this scene obviously got removed from the music video. Can't think as to why. And it's where the idea was that Cammy was running about and the squid would get him, and it would go to pull him, but accidentally pull off his trousers. and do you remember, Mark? Right, I remember I was standing right next to you when it happened, and because of like the velocity of those trousers coming down, we actually like passed ourselves. like we were expecting them to be scanty, but not like that. It was just like,
no, because I thought it was going to be blood out, so I thought I'll just do it. It was noisy. My pants are still on, my boxers are still on. And obviously, that's not going to happen if you're going to get to scan your pal. So,
if you watch his hands, so we were saying it's the bit where you're going to fall into the mouth of the octopus. So just like wave your hands. If you watch his hands are doing that, and he's still getting fucking built in his eyes.
Let's watch that again then. Poor boy.
That was the proper director's cut there.
You can actually see it. Give him pat in the arse just to.
No. You get that point when we filmed it, because there's a part in the video anyway that made it Connor getting slapped with a tentacle, which I think that was a highlight because there's a few takes of that, but I wasn't sure if that was a bit of revenge.
Oh, no,
Connor potentially. Aye, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I know it would have been because then I fucking slammed you.
Slam it filter as well. If you
that scene actually made it into the video. You see it. It's the slap and then the hat comes off.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love
it. Class, to be honest.
I actually love
them pulling the trousers down the green suit would have been an octopus pulling like trousers down, which is fucking funny. And it was in the first draft, but we were like, oh, we can't do that. Which is a shame because it's still a favourite bit.
I would have. What if that was just being J-Mac there? He would say this, Kev, you'll need to take that out. I'd go, yeah, you're right, J-Mac. And then on release day, he would be like, you didn't take it out, you bastard.
I noticed you do that on the podcast, mate. That's fine.
pretty much every single podcast. Like I'll actually hear myself in the podcast saying, Kev, you need to take that out. He's like, okay. The fact that I'm listening to that, I think he's not done it.
If anything, I just amplify it. Like the time you farted on the John Edwards
Makes it louder.
bloody podcast. Aye.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
The guy's literally talking about his dead friend, which Jordan's like, so yes, and this is kind of, yes, so did your friend actually died at that time, didn't he? Right? And at this point, the guy starts talking, yeah, my friend's died. And Jordan's like that looking at me right down the camera, and then he goes, it does to be. I know he is. And then he sits back down, and both Jordan and I are like, and this guy's like, my friends are dead.
We're like, trying to hold it together.
I think Kevin lost it right away. Like as soon as I did it, you were just like, but I was just sitting like this.
It was so hard, man. Anytime you see me go this,
actually, that was my favourite bit.
What's that?
What's your half? I mind you were saying
It's funny. It's funny too as well.
Before
it, you're like that. Listen out for the fart, and then you can clearly hear it. You can clearly hear it because you've amplified it a million percent. So you hear the fart.
You can't miss it. In the original recording, it's literally.
Oh yeah.
In the original recording, I swear to God, it's like this. It's like, but he's like, there was just no getting away from it. But the funniest part was when you were still trying to hold on your laugh, and you're like, I'm going to try and disguise it with a cough, and you coughed like this.
Sorry, but sometimes it's just. Sometimes there's a time and a place.
Oh man, I'm crying again, man. That's brilliant.
So we we show up that day, and we're proper all buzzing about it, and we just get to work. I mean, it was a very long day. It was a kind of day that if you were doing like a 9-to-5 job, right, and we did that kind of shift, I'd be like, I'm not fucking doing that again. But I enjoyed every single minute we done it, and I had no complaints. You know. I kind of went home going, I'm fucked. I can't feel my legs. Like, I think there was an issue with my toe for like 3 days because I couldn't, when I put pressure on my toes, I can't feel it. I think that's because I was wearing boots though, and I stood all day with these boots on. And I just kind of, I was like,
oh man, because I kept saying these, can we just film these last few bits because there's no way getting everybody back over. Let's just, because we'll all be, fucking half pish, but then, so like, you just film it to them. And also, we need to get a massive shout out to Seb for
absolutely
filming it and just everything he's done, man. Incredible what he does, man. It's a shame you can't get him on as well because
filming a road,
doing what he does, filming, taking pictures.
The guy's
craft.
And I felt terrible, but thank you so much again, all you for staying for that full day and putting up with it passionately.
No, mate, it was class. And no, we all.
You need to let the people know that, like, when the camera pans over our heads and I was through the wee, that was an artistic decision by Kevin. I'm actually 5'5". So.
He was kneeling down. Always use what your mama gave you, right? If you got a small fry in the band, right? Accentuate it. Scan.
I apologise for that, Cammy. I think all the wee jokes in that were pretty much my fault. Sorry about that.
Thing is, though, the cool thing about Cammy is he may be wee in stature, but the sound that comes out of him when he's playing guitar matches up for well more than it, right?
For that
is it? No.
Hey, come on, dude.
You gonna take that, Cammy?
Big sound for a wee guy. Big sound for a wee guy.
Exactly. He's got a bigger roar, right?
Hitting the fucking
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable.
Set up we've got
Jesus Christ.
It was good. We all believe in you guys and where you guys are going, and I think, you know, community. When you look at what community is, people should always want to help other people get to where they're going, regardless where it is. If it's someone walking across the street, then and they can barely walk, like Jordan's sister, then
there has to be context to that. Like somebody might just be tuning in and assume that you've done something even worse to my sister
than break her leg.
Yeah.
It's just Thieves. Don't worry about it.
It's a she okay everywhere else and they go back.
Exactly. So we all done that with absolute love, and we will continue to do it until you guys no longer need us and are off on big movie sets and whatnot, which is inevitable. It's clearly something that would be insane to think that you guys would do the same thing for the next 5 years. And as you look at yourself, you said yourself, Mark, you wrote a song and you sold out in one night. That was just yourself. You put the band together. Each step that you guys take is a bigger step towards where you want to be. So the proof is in the pudding. It's there. It's just a matter of when, where, and how, really. And obviously, everyone's already aware of the success of the music industry, the people that have kind of come out of this area. And I have always said, like, you guys are the next guys to watch. Which, I mean, do you feel that yourself? Like, do any of you sit there and go, "Nah, we're not"? You must know, and it's not even being big-headed, but you must know, like, we are. Yeah.
Well, I was actually when we were talking for that years, and we're like, it's mad because we were in a band before, like just when we were talking about how the band started. Excuse me. It's like our old band, the Ruse. Shout out to any Ruse fans.
The Ruse.
But, like
there's fucking millions watching.
Got started playing this guy Mark Sharp. So I'm like, I've not got a band, man. Go and just like put a good word on for me in that.
I was always a bit of a band slut as well, because before that, I briefly played in a band with Lewis Capaldi as well for 2 gigs.
Oh, name dropping. See what happens when you name drop. Here we go.
Say mate.
That was your fault. That was your fault.
But I mean, I had another band on the go at that time as well. I was just trying to get the brand out there.
No, but
get the portfolio.
He's playing with this guy Sharpie. I'm like, oh fuck, man, going. Well, you're in a band. We've always been in a band. Going like, what's happening? You know what I mean? Let me in. So like, I just washed Sharpie for a couple of months. I was like, oh no, man, we'll get you in. Blah blah blah. But anyway, my point is for the original question. It was like, it's always going to be like that. It's like, oh, I'm in a band. Oh, with King Tut's, blah blah blah. So like every time it's like everything's been amazing, but it's like you just want to get it to the next thing.
I feel like we always
everything you do is amazing, but we've absolutely blagged this.
We know that. I'm not good at bass. He's alright at guitar.
That's not true. He's amazing at bass.
See,
blagging it, mate. It's just
blagging it.
Cutie.
I know. They should have their own little YouTube show, both of them, and that clip needs to get it. I think the beauty of you guys is individually you're all really, really well rounded as artists, right? And when you put you guys together, it makes like a nice cake. One of yous are the icing, somebody's the sponge. You get me? I think
Kev's metaphoring it up again.
Sorry, it's my thing, right? But I think that's truly it. Because when I listen to you guys, I listen to the music, but I also listen individually to the artist. Like I listen to I can hear the piano, I can hear the bass. You have all your own identities, but together, it's like you remember the Power Rangers. It's morphin' time, and they become the big mech, right? And I think that's exactly what you guys are. Mate, you should do it. Should absolutely do it. I actually supported this group called Hollywood Tees way back when, right? And you should steal this because I don't think they're any longer a band, right? But these guys would get on top of each other's shoulders, right? So the drummer was obviously just drumming. The bassist got on top of the singer's shoulder, and the other guitarist got on top of the other guitars, and they played Superstition. Right, and folk were just like, "This is like a fucking transformer." I was at Camden, but it was really cool.
No transformer.
Sorry, Cammy.
Just saying.
That's your cheek.
Right in there, put me in my place. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So it's class. I think the response to Sink or Swim has been brilliant. Just when it was released itself, but the music video, I noticed like the views kept climbing, still keep climbing. It's got a really good thumbs up to thumbs down ratio. Who put a thumbs down on it? Because last I checked, there was one thumbs down on it.
Cammy, because there was a distinct
mate, it's probably the same guy.
This
there was like we did another podcast like a couple of weeks ago, me and Dan, right? And before the video even premiered, there was a thumbs down, and I was like, I messaged Dan like, who the fuck put thumbs down straight away?
I know.
It's no there. So they must have not liked it, watched it, and they went, "Oh, it's actually alright. I'll fucking take that away." So it's
Like,
about that.
oh no, that was too far. I'm just.
I kind of.
So if I'm watching, because I know they are watching, because I fucking whoever's they are watching.
All of you.
They watch everybody apparently. Grow up.
Aye, exactly.
Need to give me any hate. I'm actually quite sensitive, so I don't want the hate.
No,
it's quite sensitive. So
I was
Kevin,
worried about him when I
don't
said.
play that clip again. Don't play the clip again.
I absolutely won't. I promise. And like, I only ever play. I'm just kidding, man. Hey, next time you can get one on me.
Next time, at least someone go and just shave my arse.
Wait, no, is it hairy? So it is.
It's not because it's so deep.
it's just tunnel shade.
I do realise if we ever want to get another band on here, we cannot use this video as a fucking incentive. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not. I think the reception to the video has been great, and the next video that we kind of plan to do will be. I mean, we're only going to kind of up the game each time. I think it's kind of hard to top that in respect to the creativity, because a music video like that is really only one of a kind. If you look back at all your music videos, none have kind of been along that vein. But is there much that you guys can tell the audience at home about the next track?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
No.
No,
absolutely not.
Fine.
Can't. Totally secret. It's totally secret. Nah, I think the thing we can say, it's an absolute banger. I think that's. I'll leave it at that.
Proper indie banger.
I'm not actually too sure it's going to come out and stuff like that, but it's an absolute tune, and it's an important tune to us. So I'm looking forward to it.
I was steaming on Friday, and then I was listening on the way home and text Sharpie how good it was. So that's.
Say something if you.
Even though I've heard it a million times, like.
Actually, I did when I seen the it's absolute class. But then I looked later in the day what time it was. 6 o'clock in the morning. Is that what time you came? And I was like, fuck it, go on yourself. It's one of the nicest messages I've ever received. So thank you, Cammy. Why thank you publicly? I text you back, obviously. I don't know, but why thank you publicly?
Aye, give my side was like, lovely. Legend, my man. Cheers. Give me pouring my heart out to him how I really like this song.
guys, get this right. Breaking. You ready? Ah! There it is.
Oh, no way!
There it is.
Talking about.
He's done.
There he is. What's happening now?
Not a lot, man. Who are you?
Not a lot. Just having a baby.
Just having a win.
Class.
Well, we were picking you up a little bit before you kind of got on. I don't know if you caught much of the show, but we've just kind of been talking about the start of the band, where it's went,
Connor was
where it's
ripping
going.
the pish, mate. Honestly, I tell him to calm down.
Yeah, he was. He kept playing the same.
Oh, that's the best bit.
Absolutely.
I'm now emotionally numb to that.
Numb bum. Hi, Scott. So we were kind of chatting a little bit about you before, and basically the work that you do, and not only for the guys, but just the community in general. There's been many bands that you've kind of helped along the way. Businesses. I often pass by a business that you designed the sign for. You're a guy of many talents, and
thank you very much.
I didn't know if you wanted to. well, if you could describe yourself as an artist, how would you put yourself over?
Don't know. It's quite a hard thing to do, actually. I quite multi-talented. Like there's kind of two different things that I do. It's obviously working with bands, musicians, which is obviously the passion. That's what I'm passionate about. But also, as you say, like working with kind of local businesses and stuff, which obviously is that's also pretty good. But in a nutshell, just quite diverse, do like a lot of different things. Been lucky, like really fortunate to work with some of the amazing kind of talents I work with. Like Snuts, Sharpie. Has been so like lucky guy, to be honest.
I think it goes without saying that everyone that's managed to kind of get a slot of your times is kind of been better off for it. You elevate a project when you step on board, and it makes everything just
multimedia content man.
Do a bit of everything, to be honest. Like jack of all trades, master of none.
I just love you, mate. I just absolutely love you.
Oh, thanks, man. I love you too.
Cole McNeely says it looks like the Scottish spin-off of the Brady Bunch right now.
Pretty accurate, man.
And then this one day, there was a guy called Tommy. He was busy being scanned.
The youngest one breaks knees.
Weird that the cook though. That was. I kind of dad was an architect, and that's like a well-paying job, but like, fucking hell, man. I know. See the first Brady Bunch movie. I know this is like a film podcast. That was one of my favorite films when I was growing up.
The Brady Bunch.
You never seen it?
Yeah, I've never seen it either. I know of it. It's quite kind of prominent in American pop culture more than anything else, but I've never actually seen it.
It's not even a nuclear family because it's quite good because it's like two families that split up and then they've all got loads of kids and they join together. Anyway, it's not about the Brady Bunch. It's about us.
The Scottish Brady Bunch.
You would think we go off on tangents quite easily.
Do you think that would be quite a cool?
Sorry. I didn't care enough about Brady Bunch lore to get them beat.
Somebody brought it up.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a question by.
We got another comment here from the comment section. Gordon Graham says, "Skempic, thanks for helping Lothian homes."
Skempic.
Skempic.
Got a wee C in there, Gordon.
Skempic.
I appreciate the support. But, I'm lucky I've had so much support for other people. Like obviously us businesses, but like the support that I get for other people is second to none.
Absolutely. And there will be plenty more amazing cool projects coming up that we've kind of got our hands on right now, Scott, which are quite mind blowing. But we'll kind of those are future podcast episodes that we'll kind of go deeper into those. But I think timing couldn't be any better really for when lockdown's over, for the kind of stuff that we've got planned maybe
Definitely.
over in America.
That music video was a great kind of start. That was the first project we've worked together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good starting point, I think.
Yeah. What I loved about it as well,
Scott, how did you do the? Sorry,
that's right.
How did you do the octopus?
Yeah,
it was kind of like a flashback to my childhood where I didn't have any pals or that, so I just sat in like animated plasticine, be like pressing it. An old camera, and press stop,
plasticine,
stop. I do my I just modelled pals basically with plasticine. I was just like spend hours doing it. So obviously when I spoke to Connor about doing this video, and he was like, we're on this big claymation octopus. I was like, fucking yes, man, this is my kind of project. And it was actually amazing seeing how it all set up. It was just a green screen, a bit of plasticine like a tentacle, and just like move it back and forth, kind of waving it. And it was good. I really enjoyed it.
That's
unreal, man.
There was like we were in the pub on Friday, and our pal Claire saw the octopus, and see when his eyes is up, like moving around.
Yeah,
like fuck, is the octopus drunk?
At one point, he's even singing the song. My kids pointed that out.
It was funny. You see that,
He was just waiting for the right time.
I mean, I've always been a big fan of the claymation stuff.
Oh, I'm the same. Like it's so cool. It's the same with Connor. It was he showed me like this. Basically, what we had in the video was like a claymation tentacle. I can't remember what the film was. I've never seen it, but it's so cool. Like you don't get that kind of aesthetic with CGI or anything. I know we've done this on a really small scale, but just having it out of plasticine other than like stop motion as opposed to CGI just made it so much better. I think.
Doing the best with what you've got, kind of thing. Yeah.
The best bit though, I think we'll all agree, is see when like the boat's sinking and it's like tilting at the side, and you've angled instruments to be at the angle of the boat.
Cammy, that is one of the best. That is one of the best bits in it, and I never noticed it until Scott was like that. Do you notice it? So I think it's like the boat's tipping and Darren's playing the keys. So part of this, if somebody can notice it and noticed it at the time, fair play to them. Darren's playing the keys, and as he's playing the keys, the boat's tilting. It's at the same angle, and then the guitar fret is also comes into the next shot at the same angle as well. It's all it's pretty class, and it's wee bits that make it. Do you know what I mean?
Although you didn't notice it, I think it adds to the aesthetic. Like it's pretty. It's neat.
It's a good attention to detail. Like, like I said, that makes all the difference because Darren was saying obviously he showed it to like some of his pals, and I even thought the same. It's like it looks professional, and it's not like kind of tooting their own horn, but it looks like a proper video, like you're saying. So you need that level of attention to detail can actually make it look like it's not just been thrown together. Especially if you're on a budget.
Even though it kind of was to an extent.
Not a bit of professionalism. I just want the people to see the gob in Connor's mouth. That was real gob. That was real. That was real.
Seen it first hand.
That was.
In fact,
it's impressive.
Cammy, do you guys remember the wee gag that had me laughing like it was a proper dad joke right at the start, and Cammy kept saying it? Do you remember what I'm talking about, Cammy?
Aye.
Go and do it right now.
Oh no! Well, he's the person. You need to react to it.
Right, I'll pretend I'm laughing at it. Like it was actually funny.
What's a pirate's favourite letter? No.
Oh wait, no.
R.
Take two.
What's a pirate's favourite letter?
R.
You'd think it'd be R, but it's a C, love. You didn't want to hear my joke at all. You just went
mate, I was coughing blood sort of laughing. I loved it every time, and I'm gutted. I thought that should have made the music video, man. I loved it. You think of me, it's to see he loves.
You did an accent, no, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Craig Kempick. Shout out to Craig Kempick who basically allowed this to happen. He said the best bit was when the octopus joins in with a chorus. The fuck's that on Cammy's lip, by the way. look at Hayden.
Well, Craig.
Stop puberty.
That was very that wee bit. You're drowning out. You're drowning out. Bit was class. How Scott made the octopus sing. I said to him, like, can you try and make the octopus like sing that wee bit? And he was like, I fucking don't know, like, but I'll try. And it looks amazing.
I thought it would look like a pile of shit, to be honest, but it worked. It looked good.
No,
absolutely.
Mate, you did, honestly, everything I ask you for, you deliver, mate. It's unbelievable.
Aye, absolutely.
It's a collaboration, though. As I say, like with us as well, it's it was Connor's idea, obviously, and between me and yourself, interpreting it, and it was good. It was a good show, though.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to kind of get the octopus stop motion stuff done, especially the part where it sings?
It's kind of countless hours, like up to like 4 a.m. drinking whiskey, man. Because all you have to do when it's totally dark.
It's something you've got to do.
What's that?
Oh, really? You've got to do when it's dark.
Aye, because
I just said, oh, really?
if there's like a cloud goes over the sun outside, it just flickers. You get that flickering. So because I've no exactly like complete, a studio would just be like totally blacked out, obviously, but I'm not quite there yet. So it's just you have to wait till it's like proper dark outside. So it was up to like 4 a.m. My whiskey collection's gone. It was worth it.
This is actually the first whiskey Connor's ever
Good
had.
man.
Yeah, I've never drank whiskey.
What's the whiskey you drinking?
Grouse.
He's starting them on the good stuff, like.
I put some cola in that if I was you.
Cola.
I started drinking it as like a laugh, and then Aaron started drinking it. He's like, "Oh fuck, it's actually all right with a bit of water." So
I wanted to get on that.
Water, definitely.
Get on board, man. It's all right.
Get Cammy to give a wee Capri Sun.
Nah, go for the
water. Joking.
Right, we just son.
I don't need one. I'm getting fish.
Actually,
yeah, done
a bit of damage, to be honest.
I am destroying the place.
Oh god!
God.
Oh, the embarrassing says by appointment to Her Majesty the Queen. That's what's embarrassing.
Mental. So what do you guys kind of see next on the horizon? So obviously you're going to keep going with making more music and making more music videos and pushing forth. What can you see as like the next kind of goal / milestone?
I think maybe probably like more runs like down south and probably getting into more festivals. I think that's maybe a shared goal that we have. I would say, because like we're saying, we're quite happy probably selling at places in West Lothian and obviously like then St Luke's now, which was unreal. And as Cammy pointed earlier, like Kinghing's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like, I think definitely getting a good run of like festivals, maybe down south or abroad and all that kind of stuff.
Well, when you look at it, what you guys done, you went down to England. You had a couple of dates there on tour. Now you're a band from Scotland, and you managed to kind of sell at these venues down there, which is like, well, wow, people down there bought tickets. It's hard to get people to buy stuff, right? Right. So
yeah, exactly. Right. It's like once people from towns and cities that you have no affiliations with, like you don't know anybody. That's when it kind of starts getting a bit real. Like
yeah, especially, and they come to the show wearing your merchandise and singing your songs. I think that should be enough affirmation for you guys to go, right, we're on to something, you know. This is validation that we never wasted all our time, you know, countless amount of nights writing songs, getting together, jamming, the band rehearsals, just the blood, sweat, and tears that go into being what you guys are. I think when you go to another town and there's an audience there for you guys, it's not like you were supporting anyone. Those guys were there to see you. So I think that there for me, if it was me, I'd be like, right, hey J-Mac, look, you know, it's the first thing I do when anything happens. I'm like, Jordan, check this out.
I would say like the gigs we did down in England were quite strange. As you say, the biggest sort of gigs I was part of at that point, like supporting Lewis Capaldi, obviously. Like you're the sports, so you do, we're also on first, you do your bit and that's you done. Whereas there was a bit of pressure, I thought, like when we were in Newcastle, Liverpool, it's like, we're the main act here. Like if people are coming to see us, like we kind of messed this up pretty much.
I think Newcastle was
especially with not being your hometown
of that tour, because like obviously like loads of people paid. Like some of our pals came down that, and it was what an atmosphere. Yeah, Newcastle.
That was quite. And all the Freds as well, which were. And Dictator came down as well, so it was a fucking class.
Yeah, that was
all like boys that were Pallyway, so it was a good.
That's amazing.
Class
you know,
it was a nice day out.
When I initially kind of watched you guys from afar, like I do with. I always keep my kind of finger on the pulse of what's happening in music because I love music, right? And I kind of watched you guys from afar, and then when I started listening to your music through Spotify and whatnot, I thought these guys are really good. But you do get bands that are really good when you hear them recorded because they spend how many hours and they work with good producers, but then you go see them live and they're shite, right? Well, when I came into the studio in Glasgow to see you guys with G-Tom Mac, Like I was just like, what? And I remember texting J-Mac at the time going, you'll be gutted that you're not here, mate, because this is shit hot. Like just hearing you guys live was like, and there was just you guys, me, G-Tom, Max, Seb, right? But hearing that, just you have such a polished live, like you would assume you guys rehearse like every day of the week and have done for the last how many years, because it's flawless. Like you get the same experience and more as you do when you listen to the actual tracks. You just, the energy's there when you watch you guys live. It's not like, put it this way, if you walk into a bar sometimes and somebody's playing and they're singing Purple Rain in the background and nobody gives a fuck, so they start talking to their pal and aye, he's all right, like you guys, you don't have that. What you have is that whole raw, like when you guys play, folks stop doing what they're doing to watch what you guys are doing. I think like that shit you can't just learn. I think that you either have that or you don't. And I think that's why there's something special about you guys. And mark my words, we'll probably, J-Mac and I will be sitting on this podcast in about a year. I give it 2 years. It can't be any longer than 2 years from now. And you guys will be hitting the charts and like with everything that you release, touring the world. And I'll be like, see?
And we'll get a cease and desist on this fucking video.
Yeah, by the way, that was my main for the music video. See, because my sister bought me this amazing Star Wars RPG guitar strap.
Yeah, which my son actually was like Star Wars when he was watching.
Yeah. So my fear is,
do you notice that?
Like,
I did.
The cease and desist. I'm like, fuck, man.
Nah, I think you'll be safe, man. We've not had a cease and desist yet, and we've had like over 500,000 people watch this, and yet not had a cease and desist on some of their earlier stuff.
You'll be hearing from Cameron's lawyers very soon.
I know.
You'll be hearing from my arse.
I think we've had enough of your ass, Cammy. Do you know? Think.
Not all yourself.
I think you're saying, mate, like the life is a big thing for us, and I think that's being in a band. That's what you want to do. You want to perform live. Obviously, it's good to write songs, get them out for it, but performing live for me, that's what it's all about. And I think a lot of people have touched on when we perform live, it's they enjoy it. So long may that continue.
I think like the songs like stand up by themselves, but as you say,
you're a gentleman, Gordon. Thank you, mate.
A different dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Gordon Graham at home says these guys are awesome live and great together. So you all deserve to be headlines. So please make sure Scott makes your videos. Keep them in there.
Always.
Sorry, Michael, you saying something there? Sorry.
Oh, of course.
Sorry. I just that like the songs have a life of their own, like they stand up by themselves, but like as you say, live is just a different dynamic. It's a large part obviously Darren, because he's like set up the click track and that, so I get it, but it sounds bigger, so it's took us to the next level. And as you say, it's just
it was always a really nice compliment for G-Tom Mac when we played Amorous, and it is meant to start like quite quiet. When we finished, he was like, "Oh, I love it, it's so dynamic." Volumes, and I was like, fuck, man, that's the whole point.
to quote G,
what was going on there.
He actually, and for everybody at home that doesn't know yet, Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves will be in the official G-Tom Mac documentary that will come out in the next couple of years that we're kind of working on. The one thing that he did say, I mean, to quote him, he said, "You know, guys," and I'm not going to.
I knew you were going to do the voice.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Can't mind him sounding like that.
He goes. He basically said that.
Is you know?
Eh? Initially, yeah, but he did say though that he doesn't often get singer jealousy, where he sits and listens to someone and goes, "I wish I could trade voices." Now that's a Grammy Award winner that's telling you that he'd like to switch voices with you. I mean, that's high praise right there, right? This is a guy that's written, like, you look through that list, Eminem, Roger Daltrey, all these amazing artists that he's worked with and written for and sang with, and he's telling you that he would trade his voice with you. I mean,
I would trade my arse with Cammy's.
Cammy's like someone say my arse, but that there's just magic. And you know what's funny? I kind of
amazing. That is amazing.
It is, and you know, when we had left you guys at the studio and we're on the car ride back, like he was asking me to send your Spotify stuff, and he was mailing it off to his friends, you know, over in LA, and I had kind of said to Seb that day, I was like, I think he's really going to enjoy this performance today. And when he did, and he kind of mentioned to you guys that he wants to kind of hook you up with people in the licensing industry over in America to kind of get your stuff on TV. Like, I was like, that's just incredible, because I could only put myself in your shoes and go, imagine that. It's just, again, it's another step forward to where you guys are going to be. And that's the beauty of your music also, coming from a fan here, right? When you listen to your music, you can get bands that will release an album and it's got one really amazing song on it, and the rest's kind of filler, where it's like, oh, it kind of sounds a wee bit like the last one. You guys have your music are like, again, they're just different stepping stones on the bridge that takes you from one end to another, right? You can tell it's you guys, and that your sound is there, but each time it's different, and it just keeps you wanting more. And I think that it's not something that you come by easy, and that's why there must be, pardon the pun, there is something in the water here in West Lothian for you guys.
Something in the firewater.
Right.
Something in the firewater.
In the firewater, right? Yeah.
I don't know if you can sense it, Kevin, but like a lot of people say, it's like, oh, each releases are always a little bit different. It's like, fuck, are we gonna run it to genres and and then what's gonna happen?
Absolutely not, mate. Absolutely not.
I think I'm quite lucky.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Create a genre.
Because like you were asking us earlier, what are our influences? Like they're all different, I would say. We do like similar stuff, but really like our favourites are all quite different. So that puts kind of a wee bit of different flavour into each song and stuff like that, which is quite cool and all on the same track.
Definitely.
Mixing all the genres together, we also just jump for different genres as well.
But that's good though, because it makes your music so versatile and really easy to license. Like, I've listened to every single track of yours and gone, I could see this in a movie, I could see this in a TV show, I could see this opening something. You know, there's a use for all of it. But then again, when you put that on a stadium kind of setting, all of your music allows the audience to get involved and sing it back to you, which is just that kind of big anthem feel. So when you want to take someone up here, like the next track you've got coming out, you take them right the fuck up here. But when you want to bring them down a bit, you guys have the tools to do it. And I think I could put you over forever. I just think everybody should go and check out your Spotify and buy your tracks from iTunes and support the band in every way that you can, because one way or another, you're going to get to where you're going to be. It's just a matter of when, isn't it?
Fingers crossed.
That's not the attitude. Fingers crossed.
Quite be humble.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's becoming quite an expensive hobby. That's what I'll say.
Well, hey, this is the grind, the blood, sweat, and tears that kind of push you from A to B. Scott, when did you kind of become aware of the band? Did you get do you like the band because you knew Mark?
It was before it was a band, actually. It was just Sharpie. I used to do some of the really early videos, like for the Snuts, when it was just like, very basic. And
fireworks in the drum kit.
Proper.
And Sharpie had asked me to do
amazing videos, by the way. Amazing.
Yeah.
I just about killed myself doing that one. Sharpie asked me to do a video for him for Thieves, and it was the first time I actually met him. I was watching it the other day, and I was like, I think the first time I actually met Sharpie, man, became really good friends since then. But I've been lucky enough to kind of see them evolve from obviously just like solo to becoming a band and just evolving like step by step, and they have always upped their game, especially live. Like when you see their recorded and live, it's quite good being able to see, like, from being on the outside. Although I've been involved, but being on the outside looking in and seeing a band like evolve over time, it's pretty impressive. And I think every tune just gets like better and better, and like bigger and bigger. Especially tunes like Amorous and stuff, where you can just see it on a big stage, especially when we have been lucky enough to be playing on a big stage, like supporting Lewis and stuff. Seeing it just deserves to be in that kind of like almost stadium atmosphere.
People are calling.
I know. Oh, that's actually what that. See in the Phil's music video, who's playing the drums? Because they fucking like
It's Joko.
It's Joko.
Jordan.
Is it?
It was class. I loved that. I actually watching it the other day. I actually loved that video as well. It's cool.
When I seen it,
It's good fun.
because I thought, because obviously he recorded with James Grant. So I was like, oh fuck, there's no way James came from Glasgow to like just.
No.
Like
It's in the British one, right? But like, Joe, you want to come play drums in it? He's like, fucking right. And he's like, you want to put a parker on or something? Just like kind of hide your face and kind of make it like a mass sort of drop type thing. He's like, fuck up in my face. I was like, you've got a beard and everything, mate. I can't fuck it, ruin me. And then as soon as he done it, he totally regretted it. He's like, I can't believe you did that. I think it was that like the Galactic Day, which is stronger than the Galactic Day. It's still going on. That's 4 years.
We all fucking class.
Joko was the first.
Fair play, I'm like.
That's true. There you go.
Makes Joko was
the first drummer of the Bicycle Thieves. There you go. Look up now.
I guess. Wait, like before I even brought it Fools, me and Joko used to do gigs and that together, and he'd just play the drums, I just play acoustic guitar, I'm sure and stuff like that. So, so usually me and Jack would do it, but Jack couldn't make it. Joko, but I'll fucking come up play the drums or whatever, or I'd play with me and Jack and so. And also with the band I had before, Joko played drums on as well.
For all the fans out there, that's in Crosses.
No, it's in Crosses.
Am I right?
No, it's in Crosses, he played drums.
As well.
Yeah.
Or was Jack Cochran? Jack Cochran was meant to be the original keyboard player.
Did you say?
Was he not? Or considered?
No, Jack. No.
Keyboard
player? No, Jack was in the starts still in it.
Yes, but maybe not. It was still in the starts at that point, but.
My fidget cubes been in the shell the whole time, wasn't even by the road.
Maybe. I can't remember. I can't remember that far back. If I probably said he'd probably play the keys in it, but I can't remember. You might be right. Yeah. Just can't remember that far back, mate.
I mean, for me, it'd be kind of hard to see you guys without this kind of lineup. I've kind of got used to all your identity. I take it you're all in it for the long haul, Cammy.
Until I get my boat.
His ass is out for long.
Absolutely. You see like a band. It's obviously tough to get it going, but like when you take it like as I say, you take it up at a level and then another level, you're like, fuck man. Not like you would ever like back out it, but like, fuck man, I can't back out now because if I back out now, then it'll only get bigger. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you just don't want them to get successful, do you? You don't want the what if.
That sounds exactly like what he's trying to say.
Because it's quite fortunate, like how the band formed. It's like because like me, like I played my first gig with Darren in school. And that was the first time I ever played with a crowd. And it's just like got my pal Connor, got Sharpie, got my man Davey Seamanstein.
Big Seamanstein.
I love it, man. That's good.
I'll take this opportunity to explain that then. If that's all right.
And it's just.
I want to hear the explanation.
It's literally, it's not what's the word, sinister, or it's literally I was a goalkeeper. So David
Seaman. Right. Okay.
Was it lobbing Seaman for 40 yards, Ronaldinho?
Aye, David Seaman.
That's it.
Oh, 2002 World Cup.
Aye,
my best goals ever.
He's off his line.
David Seaman. He's kind of David Seaman.
Yeah, I know who David Seaman is, and I don't even.
David Seaman. David Seaman.
Yeah, the ponytail, right?
Stain, mate.
I do it.
The goalkeeper. Is it the goalkeeper?
It is.
Aye. Goalkeeper, Big Tash.
He's definitely a football person.
That's it.
He's in the Pringle. He's in the Pringle box.
I remember he didn't save a goal, and it was all over the news. I think did he not fuck up a game for one of them, and the news were all over it, and they kind of just played Stop Crying Your Heart Out by Oasis, and he was just kind of walking off the pitch like that.
It was a goal. Was that Ronaldinho goal?
Aye, right, and did they not all blame Seaman for that?
Aye. Because it's like England keepers are notorious for it, like making massive blunders, which is class.
It's no PG.
It's good to see. It's good to see.
I'll see it
My
again.
first World Cup,
Right now.
and I was like
What was it?
drawing wee cartoon pictures of all the big moments. Like there's like what age I would have been like 5. So there's like 5-year-old me had like drawn a class drawing of Ronaldinho lobbing David Seaman. I should have it framed behind me.
I'd love to see that.
We have a we have Blizz from Twitch. Someone keeps taking my bicycle. Is you guys? Did anybody steal? Well, I can answer this for you, Blizz. It was Cammy.
It's the Line of Duty finale tonight.
It's not,
so
but like
in true Line of Duty fashion.
see for something
Comment.
That's again.
And that's what you get for stealing her. What time is Line of Duty on? 8:30?
9.
Oh, look at this! I've never seen it. I've never seen Line of Duty, but I know
when I was saying it, Kevin, but the reason we came on at 6:30 is because of Line of Duty. I've got to watch.
He told me that your manager said you had something else.
See as stupid as it sounds.
The nation will be watching it. I'm watching it.
Yep.
No, your man's asking, someone keeps taking my bicycle. Is it you guys? See, just bicycle related. Me and him went on a cycle a couple of weeks ago. And
So
we're literally cycling right next to each other. I was like, mate, nobody can see us like that. Like we're a fucking stereo.
Who can lift it?
There's 2 bikes. What's going on?
Cases of bike thievery.
Yeah, I think when you guys play the O2, there needs to be some sort of like set build where it's just like a ton of bikes that have been dragged out of the burn, because for some reason that's the done thing, isn't it? If you steal a bike, you can't keep it or sell it or anything. It needs to go in the burn, right?
Chuck it in the canal.
Right.
That's kind of hanging to your like West Lothian. Every burn you go by, there's a bike in it. That's like
a trolley.
It's like it's a trolley. It's like getting like in America. It's always the shoes here, the electric line type thing.
Yeah,
it's always a bike or a fucking trolley, isn't it?
Or a deep junkie.
Quick save trolley, man. Quick save basket. They're always in there.
Quick save, aye.
Kevin, you were talking about earlier, like, have you ever stole a bike? I was like, no, but I've stolen some dusties in my day. You know what I mean?
I was thinking that earlier. As classic.
That's a point. You can't.
What was the nicest dusties you've stolen? I remember I got the smiley face ones. And the round ones, the smiley face.
Yeah.
Had a wee pair of 8 balls.
Steal them, put them on your bike. Oh, nice.
I've just worked out what dusties are. Thanks.
Yeah, remember he's from the generation above us.
Come on, surely you've stolen dusties. Surely you've stolen dusties.
When J-Mac had a bike, there was no such thing as dusties.
Mine was one of the ones with a massive front wheel. You know?
Aye, and only 2 wheels and the handlebars.
Only 2 wheels, Kevin.
Aye, but like no handlebars. No handlebars.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on.
Kevin, Cammy's mother's watching this. You keep showing his arse.
Who? Cammy's mother keeps watching this. Sorry, Cammy's mum.
Just asking for it.
She used to fucking wipe it, so fucking there you go.
Up you, Cammy's mum. Just watch those hands.
She used to wipe it.
That's why earlier he was like, nobody shaved my arse.
This is completely deteriorated for a podcast to a Call of Duty session, right? We need to stop it.
Aye, absolutely. Aye, like I was saying, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on, and I think we should do it again, but do it about movies or something quite related.
Mate, see when you do an episode with Brady Bunch.
Oh, mate.
I'm 100% there. And Power Rangers.
Oh, he's there.
Mate,
he's the only that's watched it. So we need to get on it.
Aye, I'll need to actually watch the Brady Bunch. Scott's back. Oh,
There he is.
aye,
Marsha. You've not seen it, you don't get the quote, but it's.
I haven't. So what I will do is we'll play the music video in full to end the show. I don't know. I don't think there's any more comments from the comment section. I think you've gained a new fan in Blizz XXX.
Nice man.
I think she came here. Yeah, I think she came here because she heard the cameo. so you got yourself a new subscriber there. I will say to everybody at home, to make sure you go ahead and follow Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, and the more you guys that do that, the band themselves will be able to reap the benefits of that. So
I'm getting
right. Do you want to get Cammy a boat? Don't deny someone who's had his ass out all night a boat. Right, the guy's put a shift in, so get him his boat. And you can also
the sea air on that next bear arse.
exactly.
That has to be that has to be the name of the boat.
It's on a boat.
You can find all of you guys' music videos and music in the archives on the YouTube channel. That's Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves. Also, Scott Kempick. The Facebook page is Scott Kempick. You can find that in the comments section that we've posted. If you guys need any amazing work done, like I said, Scott, you can do anything from drawing avatars for social media influencers, basically anything that you're like, here, I don't know how to do that. Scott knows how to do, and if he doesn't, he'll learn how to do it better than most people that's been doing it for a long time. Exactly.
Cheers,
we'll
man.
do anything for you, eh? Absolutely. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow Scott Kempick as well.
Legend.
What does Ross have his own business?
Well, as a joiner with my dad, it's just Kempick Joinery. If you're looking for any high-end joinery,
yeah. Not only that, he's a bit of
carpentry.
Yeah. And he's an innovator as well.
Like Joseph.
Good finishing joiners.
I worked a couple of shifts with him once, and it was your brother that was there, Scott, and I can vouch for the quality of the joinery.
Yep.
they're good at what they do.
The proper finishing joiners.
Amazing joints.
To the highest level you can imagine.
Brilliant.
See their work at the likes I've never seen before.
Might see me try to show some of them, but my mother was trying to come in because you see
What happened with his vodka when he went, fuck!
Get going.
Shut his fuck off his own mother. What an outrage.
Go back and say sorry.
Oh, you better.
She's going to message me after this saying, give me a lot of jip. Sorry.
Absolutely. Sunday, lads.
Exactly.
Thanks.
No, hey, it's been an absolute pleasure. It has been absolutely wild. We should do it again, but we should do it after reviewing a movie or watching a movie or something. I think it'd be an absolute class.
We should do it when we can all be in the same fucking room. I'm so
hey,
doing these things.
As soon as it's over, as soon as
love that.
Lockdown's over, we'll get together and do an extra. Hey, we could even film 24 hours in the same house. The real Scottish Brady Bunch, right? How many times will How many times will Kemi get his arse? So thanks again for everybody that's tuned in and left comments. Thanks to Cammy's ass.
One more. There you go.
One more now. So thanks to Cammy's ass. Thanks to Mark, Michael, Darren, Cammy, and Connor. You thought I forgot your name, but I didn't. and Scott as well. J-Mac, as always.
Is it because he's on the screen, he's like in my screen, you almost forget it?
Hey? Oh, no.
Okay. It was just building a dramatic effect.
See, he gets it. This is why his ass hasn't been on screen.
And your bumhole getting shown all the way.
Absolutely. So I'm going to leave everyone with the official Sink or Swim music video that dropped on Friday. And guys,
legend made it happen.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
No, absolutely. Guys, give these guys your support. Follow them. Subscribe. Do everything you can. Buy the t-shirts. Buy tickets. Go and see them. Support them. And we will see you guys.
I want a boat.
Next time.
We drill till we can't fit. Try to swim before we sink. We got all the ammunition to make another bad decision. The street lights force fields fights as if the battle's filled with rain. But we're forever unfulfilled by the bad blood that's been spilled. We don't belong, so what went wrong? We don't belong anywhere. Now you're drowning out. I know that I can be here to save you when it turns against the world. You're drowning, you're running out of love on a path to self-destruct. You could sense it in the air. There was violence everywhere. Listen, cause when from this mess that we are in, the temptation jumps our face when our conscience turns off late. We don't belong, so what went wrong? We don't belong anywhere. We don't belong, so what went wrong? We don't belong anywhere. But we don't care. Now you're drowning out. I know that I can be here to save you when it turns against the world. Now that you're drowning out, I know that I will be here to save you when it turns against the world. You're drowning Again.